So, can someone please explain to me why this game exists? That's right, at the end of 2023, we got a terrible looking game about The Walking Dead, a show that premiered in 2010 and the height of its popularity was years ago. But now is when we get The Walking Dead Destinies, a video game based on the events of the show. This game is 10 years too late. The Walking Dead was huge when it came out, and for many seasons after that. Everyone was watching it, myself included. If a game that followed the events of the story came out back then, it would have been a major success. But instead we get it now, after the show has ended and the popularity dwindled. Now, all that being said, I think that a game with this premise could actually do really well now if it's made right. But since we're here talking about it, I'm sure you can guess that it's not good. So today, I'm going to tell you all about what makes The Walking Dead Destinies so terrible. And if you've never seen The Walking Dead, no worries, you do not need any prior knowledge of the show to understand why this game is such a hot mess. So as I mentioned before, this game follows the plot of The Walking Dead TV show, but with a twist. As you play, there will be choices for you to make. Depending on what you choose, you can alter the story, changing things from how they happened in the show. This sounds like a really cool premise, and like I said before, if done right, this could be a success today. But of course, we can't have nice things, can we? The decision mechanic we got is lame. So first of all, there are actually only a handful of decisions throughout the game, and they don't even change that much. For example, there's a point where you get to play as the characters Shane and Beth. They went to collect some medical supplies to save Carl, who is currently dying. As they leave, Beth trips and falls in front of a group of zombies, and you're given the choice to either save Beth or the medical supplies. If you save Beth, the game hard cuts to everyone sadly standing around Carl's grave because he died. If you save the medical supplies, it hard cuts to everyone standing around Beth's grave because she died. It's almost exactly the same scene. And in the end, it didn't even matter who you saved because neither of them really do anything for the rest of the game anyway. The only thing you're really deciding is which characters you're going to keep alive so you can play as them, because the end of the game is going to be the same no matter what choices you make, with only a few minor differences. In the very beginning, you're given the option to take the side of either Merle or T-Dog when they fight. Whichever one you don't choose will end up chained to a building, turning evil, and will be the final boss. And that's it. That is the only big difference in the story at the end. The only other changes will be whatever character survived will be the ones you play as. And they're not really given much of a talking role anyway, so it's not like that's going to have a major effect on the story. They're just kind of there. Now, in all of the footage that I've been showing so far, you may have taken notice of the beautiful cutscenes, if you can even call them that. Yet, instead of actual cutscenes, the game just has these freeze frames of 3D models. It makes for some amazing action sequences.
I pull this trigger, it'll be the best use of ammo all day.
Some tense situations.
That's it! We either take care of this right now, or we just gotta go!
Now hold on, Shane.
You can't tell me you're okay with this! Get your weapons, y'all! Time to grow up!
Shane, that's enough.
And some truly sad moments where you really feel the character's pain.
Calm down. We gotta go. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, so can we take a moment to talk about how these models look nothing like the characters? Thanks to that, when T-Dog shows back up later in the game, I didn't even recognize him. I was like, oh, who's that guy? I don't remember that character. They also have these lovely portraits. What happened here? Why don't we talk about the gameplay next? So the main thing you'll be doing is dealing with zombies, or walkers as they're called in the show. You can be stealthy by sneaking around and distracting them by throwing things, but the AI sucks, so you can't even guarantee that they'll go away when you throw something, and then you're kind of screwed. Your other option is to fight the walkers. Now, there is a lot of potential for some fun gameplay here. There are a bunch of different weapons to use and characters to play as, and there's the skill tree to make you stronger as you go. This gives players a ton of variety and the opportunity to play however they want, except that it doesn't. Every character plays exactly the same. There's no difference between them. In fact, they're so similar that they all say the exact same lines in battle.
Adrenaline is pumping.
Adrenaline is pumping.
Adrenaline is pumping.
And they say these lines a lot, so be prepared to hear them a million times.
Adrenaline is pumping.
There's also really no difference between each of the melee weapons and guns. The skill tree does make your character stronger, but then it's just so easy to kill the zombies that there isn't even a challenge anymore in this already boring gameplay. Okay, so there's really only one other thing that you can do in this game. After every level, you head back to your HQ. Here, all of the characters will be standing around. You can talk to them, but they don't really say much.
I can't believe we ever thought walkers could be cured.
The night's always darkest before the dawn.
I could take watch if you need.
There will also be conflicts between characters. Two of them will argue, and you have to pick a side. Ooh, okay, some tension. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's meaningless. It doesn't matter whose side you take. No matter who you pick, you're rewarded with skill points, and the other characters don't hold a grudge if you don't side with them. They have no memory of it, so this has absolutely zero effect on the story. And that does it for gameplay. Thrilling stuff, isn't it? Now, like I said, aside from a few choices you make, The Walking Dead Destinies follows the plot of the show, starting from season 1 and going through, I think, season 4? I'm not really sure. It's been a long time since I've seen the show, okay? The game is broken up into episodes, with each one acting as a level. However, there are only 23 episodes in the game, and way more than that in 4 seasons of the show. Not only that, but the game is only about 6 hours long. This means that the story gets super rushed, and entire sections of the show just get cut. They try to fill in the missing gaps with these very short snippets in between episodes, but it's not very helpful at all. Like this one, where it says that Daryl has gone out to find supplies for Judith. Then it cuts to gameplay, and he's just fighting some actual real-life people, not zombies. Who are you guys? What is the context here? Other times, the game will skip over actually interesting parts and put it in the short paragraphs, and it's like, well gee, I would have liked to play through that. So now that you've got the gist of how The Walking Dead Destinies plays, I kind of want to go through the game and tell you about some of my favorite parts. Starting with episode 2, where Morgan, as in the Walking Dead character Morgan, not me Morgan, is telling Rick how to take on the zombies, but it just sounds ridiculous because he's describing how to play the game.
Your adrenaline goes up every time you hit or kill one of those walkers. That'll restore some health back to you.
Of course, adrenaline restores my health. That sounds totally normal and not like a game mechanic at all. Later, the group is attacked by a bunch of walkers. You play as Rick and have to save his wife and son. Once you do though, they'll just stand there and continue to get attacked by the zombies that spawn in because they want you to physically walk them over to this RV to hide in, even though it is right there. Guys, I really don't need to escort you. Then Sophia runs off and you chase after her. Throughout the entire level, Rick calls her name a billion times.
Sophia! 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 Sophia!
Next is when that level with Shane and Beth happens, and this is when I noticed how jarring it is when the game switches you to another character's perspective.
I'll take that, thanks.
Now we need to walk over to the barn, which is literally right there, but for some reason you have to go through an entire maze to get there. Now it's time for a boss fight where Rick fights Shane. In the first phase of the fight, Shane moves very strangely. In the second phase, a bunch of walkers spawn in and ignore Shane, only attacking you. You're only given a crowbar to fight with, making the whole thing impossible because trying to get close to Shane to hit him while a billion zombies are attacking you at the same time is not easy. Oh, and now seems like a good time to mention that sometimes the audio will glitch and cut out, but only some of the audio, so you're left with this.
Adrenaline pumping.
I've known Shane my whole life. Man,
I don't even recognize you anymore!
Oh no! Herschel's been bit! We need to cut off his leg to stop the infection from spreading. You know, I think that you would scream just a bit louder if your leg was being cut off. It's time for another boss fight. This time you have to fight a guy in the world's worst lighting. I can't see anything. Now let's have an episode where the only thing you do is follow the governor while he aimlessly walks around. Okay, we've made it to episode 21. Wait, why does it say episode 1? Huh? Alright, now it's time for the final fight, and there's a badass shot of everyone walking. But remember how Herschel had to have his leg cut off? How are you walking? Okay, I could just keep going with all this goofy stuff, but I'll leave it there. I think by now you guys have gotten the point and understand why The Walking Dead Destinies is an absolute disaster. Think back to when you first heard about the PS5 coming out. Did you ever think that a game that looked like this would be on it? And I'm honestly still baffled that this game about the beginning of The Walking Dead came out now. It's a little late for this. Wait a minute. This was made by Game Mill? who also made Skull Island Rise of Kong? Okay, well, learning that just answered all the questions I had, so I guess that's going to do it for me today. What do you guys think of this amazing game? Were you as confused by its existence as I was? Let me know in the comments, and also, if there's another game you want me to make a video on, feel free to tell me. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to see more content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!